Hello, friends. Welcome to Digan's Call. Today, because of your support, we have been able to create a family of 30,000 subscribers. Thank you all. Stay well, stay healthy, and listen to these words today carefully. Put on your headphones. Now let's get started. Friends, have you ever felt like this? It's like 1,000 thoughts are going on in your head at the same time. You are going to sleep, but your mind doesn't stop. Old words, fears of the future, unknown worries all together are like an invisible storm. And this storm is slowly taking away your peace. It is destroying your focus. It is complicating your life. But what if I told you that all this is being created inside your head, and if you want, you can control it? Today we will talk about a powerful idea that will teach you how to rebuild your part of the brain, how to stop overthinking and keep your mind calm. And these words are not taught in any school. So I say again, listen very carefully with headphones in your ears. Our brain is also designed in such a way that it always wants to find problems. Because thousands of years ago, humans needed this ability to survive. Where is the danger? How to survive? These thoughts helped us survive. But today, the same brain that was designed to save us has become the cause of our biggest problems. Today, we no longer fear tigers or predators to survive. But our brain still works in the same way. So it makes a small problem, a small thought big. It keeps thinking over and over again. And this repetitive thinking is overthinking. Overthinking means not just thinking too much, but also playing the same thought over and over, like a broken record that doesn't want to stop. You might be wondering, why did I do this? If this doesn't happen, what will happen in the future? And these questions have no end. Here comes the most important truth. Your thoughts are not always true. Yes, not everything you think is real. Your brain often tells you wrong stories. It scares you. It also imagines worst-case scenarios. And if you accept those thoughts as true, then your mind gradually becomes more involved. Mentally strong people understand one thing very well. They are not slaves to their thoughts, but they observe thoughts. They understand that it is just a thought, it is not real. Suppose a thought comes to your mind, I will fail. Usually we believe this thought. But if you stop for a moment and ask yourself, what is the proof of this? Then you will understand that it is not just a fear, it is real. This small shift can change your entire mindset. Another important thing is attention control. Where your mind gives attention, your experience also goes. If you always focus on negative things, your life will also seem negative. But if you can consciously focus on positive or productive things, your mind will slowly start to calm down. It will not happen in a day, because your brain has been used to a pattern for a long time. But if you shift your attention a little bit every day, your brain will also gradually adapt in a new way. Here is a powerful technique called thought leveling. Whenever a negative thought comes, give it a name without identifying it with yourself. For example, it is a fear. It is an overthinking thought. It is a doubt. By doing this, you will be able to separate yourself from that thought. Be a big help for you. The link to the book is given in the description box. You can collect it from there if you want. Another important thing is, if you want to support our work like this, if you want us to create better content, then you can sponsor our channel if you want. Your small support is a big motivation for us. Also, those who have their own book summary channel and want to collaborate with us can contact us. We can reach a larger audience by working together. Because as long as you say I am afraid, you are involved in that fear. But when you say it is a fear, you are observing that fear. This difference gives you control. Another big mistake we make is that we think we have to control all our thoughts. But in reality, that is not possible. Thoughts will come to your mind, but how you react to those thoughts is what matters. Mentally strong people do not try to stop their thoughts. They control their reactions. For example, if a bad thought comes to your mind, you do not panic about it and let it go. Just like clouds come and go in the sky. You don't try to stop the cloud, you just watch it come and go. The same goes for your thoughts. Another important thing is that your body and mind are connected to each other. When you are physically stressed, your mind also becomes more anxious. So if you can calm your body down by deep breathing, slow movement, or a little walk, then your mind will also calm down gradually. Finally, remember one thing. Your brain is not fixed. It is changing. Your brain reshapes itself based on the way you think and react repeatedly. That means if you overthink every day, your brain will become stronger at overthinking. And if you gradually practice focused thinking, your brain will also change itself in the same way. This is rewiring. You can retrain your brain. You can change your thought patterns if you want. And once you understand this, many of the complexities of your life will start to become easier on their own. Because the real problem is not outside, it's inside your head. And once you learn to understand your mind and learn to control it, your life will slowly become really easy. Have you ever noticed that the same problem has a completely different impact on the lives of two people? One breaks down in that problem, and the other remains calm in the same situation and finds a solution. Where is the difference? Not in the problem, but in their thoughts. Suppose a boy named Rahul. He went to give an important interview, but he was not selected. When he returned home, only one thought kept dwelling in his head. I failed. Nothing will happen to me. My life is over. These thoughts surrounded him in such a way that he did not have the courage to try again. On the other hand, another Abhirup was in the same situation. He also was not selected in the interview, but he told his mind, maybe I was not ready, but it is not the end. I will try again. The result was that after a few months, he got an opportunity in a better place. See, the events were the same, but the thoughts were different, and that thought decided their future. Nick Trenton said an important thing in his book: your thoughts are not facts. That is, what you think is not always true. Your brain often tells you the wrong story, and if you believe that, then that false story becomes your reality. Our brain has a tendency to focus more on the negative. This is called negativity bias. Suppose 10 good things happened in your day and one bad thing happened. Which one will your mind remember more? That bad thing? And that one thought will keep going back and forth in your mind. This is the beginning of overthinking. Let me tell you a short story. A man was standing by the river. Suddenly he saw a piece of wood floating in the river. He thought it was a snake. This thought entered his mind in such a way that he got scared and ran away. Later he saw that it was actually an ordinary piece of wood. Many fears in our lives are like this. Nothing in reality, but our thoughts make them bigger. Now the question is, how do we get out of it? The first step is to question your thoughts. Whenever a negative thought comes, ask yourself, is it real or just my fear? This small question can stop your mind. The second step is to stay in the present. Most anxiety comes from thinking about the future, and most sadness comes from dwelling on the past. But the reality is that you can only control this moment. When you focus on the present, your mind naturally begins to calm down. Here's a powerful quote. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. The third step is to take action. Overthinking holds us back, but action sets us free. The more you think, the more confused you become. But when you take a small step, your mind begins to gain clarity. Suppose you're worrying about a task. What are you just thinking about? But if you start small and work for 5 minutes, then gradually your fear will start to decrease. Because your brain will start to understand, I understand. Another important thing is your environment. Who you spend time with, what kind of content you watch, what you listen to, everything affects your mind. If you are always around negative people or news, then your mind will also be programmed that way. But if you surround yourself with positive, growth-oriented things, then your thoughts will also change. This whole concept is not just for listening, it is for practicing. And this is where this book is different. The book Rewire Your Brain doesn't just show the problems, it teaches you step by step how you can retrain your brain, how to change your thought patterns. If you really want to get out of overthinking, if you want to calm your mind, then this book can be a powerful guide for you, because there are many practical techniques here that you can use in your daily life. Finally, your mind can be your biggest strength and your biggest weakness. How you use it determines everything. So from today, don't blindly trust your thoughts, understand it, challenge it, and gradually bring it under your control. Because once you learn to control your mind, your life will really become a lot easier. Have you ever gone through a moment when your head is so full of thoughts that you can't think anything properly? Everything seems to come together and pressure you. and you only feel one thing: I'm stuck. This situation is very common, but this is where a big problem starts: decision paralysis. You keep thinking so much that you can't make any decisions in the end. And the more you delay, the more anxiety you get. Let me tell you a short story. Suman wanted to start a new business. He had many ideas, many plans, but he started thinking so much: what if I fail? What if the money is wasted? What if people laugh at me? These thoughts blocked him so much that he couldn't even start. Months passed, years passed, but he was still thinking. On the other hand, Rahat was afraid in the same way, but he did one thing. He started small. He didn't wait for everything to be perfect. He just took action, and that small start gradually grew. This is the difference. Nick Trenton says a very important thing in this book. Overthinking kills action, and lack of action increases anxiety. It means the more you think, the less you will do, and the less you do, the more anxiety will increase. The only way to get out of this cycle is action. You don't have to do anything big. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start, because there is a power in starting. When you take action, your brain gets new signals. I am in control. Another powerful technique is the 5-minute rule. Whenever you don't feel like doing anything, tell yourself, I will do it for 5 minutes. These 5 minutes often turn into 30 minutes. It turns into an hour, because the beginning is the hardest. Another important thing is to stop overloading your mind. Today, we consume so many things at once: social media, news, comparisons, expectations. All of these put your brain under constant stress. To be mentally fit, you have to control your input. What you watch, what you listen to, who you talk to, everything shapes your thoughts. Remember one thing here: you become what you consume. If you always consume negative things, your mind will also become negative. And if you consume positive, growth-oriented things, your thoughts will also change accordingly. This is why reading such books is so important. Rewire Your Brain. It's not just a motivational book, it's a practical guide. There are many practical techniques here that you can apply in your life step by step. If you really want to control your mind and reduce overthinking, then this book can. Finally, one thing is that your life does not stop. Only your thoughts are holding you back. Your change will start from the day you can get out of that thought. So don't wait and take a small action today, because that small step can be the beginning of the biggest change in your life. Let me ask you a question. Are you controlling your thoughts, or are your thoughts controlling you? Because the truth is that most of life's problems are not outside. They are created inside our heads. The more we think, the more we get involved. And the more we get involved, the more we lose our power. But this is where a big change is possible. The day you realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the person who sees thoughts. From that day on, a new power will be created within you. Then you will no longer believe every thought, but you will choose which ones to keep and which ones to let go. Think of a real example. Suppose a thought suddenly comes to your mind: I can't. Earlier, you might have accepted this thought as true. But now if you stop for a moment and tell yourself that it is just a thought, it is not real, then the power of that thought will decrease a lot. This small awareness gradually makes you mentally strong. Another thing is very important to remember. Peace does not mean the absence of problems. Peace means being content, even in the midst of problems. Problems will come in life, stress will come, uncertainty will come. But if you can keep your mind stable, nothing can break you. Here is a powerful quote. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. What happens to you is not always in your hands, but how you react is completely in your control. And this control is what sets you apart. You may have learned a lot in this entire journey: how to observe thoughts, how to reduce overthinking, how to retrain your mind. But the most important thing is to apply them in reality, because knowledge becomes power only when you use it. You can start today. One small step. Whenever unnecessary thoughts come to mind, question them. Whenever fear comes, observe them. And whenever you get the opportunity, take action. Gradually, you will realize that your mind is no longer the same. You are becoming more active, more focused, and more confident than before. This change is real. If you like this video and it is useful to you, then definitely like it. Comment and share your opinion so that more people can benefit. Don't forget to subscribe to Digantar Dak channel, because content is regularly provided here that will help make your life easier and stronger. Remember, your mind is your greatest strength. Once you learn to control it, your life will really become a lot easier.